Every step outside was a risk. Meet Jamal.
They said his voice was too raw and unpolished for the big stage, and they claimed he was just another unprepared hopeful who wasn't ready for the intense glare of the spotlight. But on the night of May 18, 2025, that very same man stood drenched in stage lights as a record-breaking 26 million votes flooded the phone lines, cementing his name in history as the new American Idol. His victory was immediately packaged and sold to the world as a heartwarming, almost unbelievable fairy tale. The humble physical education teacher from a small, overlooked town in Mississippi who, against all odds, rose to national stardom. It was the perfect story, one that America was eager to embrace, but that carefully crafted and flawlessly presented narrative might not be the whole truth. In the final, nail-biting weeks of the competition, just as his victory seemed all but guaranteed, a dark storm of controversy began to brew beneath the surface. Whispers turned into loud accusations online, suggesting that the image of the perfect devoted family man was something more calculated, a strategic play for votes that threatened to expose a far more complex and manipulative side to his journey. This wasn't just backstage gossip, it was a firestorm that nearly incinerated his chances completely, making millions of viewers question everything they thought they knew about the man who was about to win it all. The story everyone saw was one of triumph, but the story that was being told in the shadows was one of cunning strategy and a controversy that could have ended his dream before the confetti ever had a chance to fall. Just as Jamal Roberts was solidifying his position as the undeniable frontrunner of the competition, a dark and insidious narrative began to spiral out of control on social media and fan forums, threatening to completely derail his momentum. Critics and skeptical viewers started to launch accusations that he was strategically weaponizing his own children to win the competition. The affectionate girl dad label, once a symbol of his wholesome image, was twisted into a term of manipulation. These claims suggested that his decision to bring his daughters, Lyric and Harmony, onto the stage for emotional televised moments was a highly calculated move designed specifically to tug at the heartstrings of the voting public and secure a demographic of voters who value family above all else. The timing of events seemed almost too perfect for those who were suspicious. Right at the critical moment when he broke into the top 7, news broke that his third daughter Gianna had been born. To his legions of loyal supporters, this was a beautiful and poignant story of a dedicated father fighting harder than ever for his rapidly growing family. However, to his detractors, this was the final undeniable piece of evidence. It was, they claimed, the ultimate sympathy card played at the most opportune time. The accusations grew from whispers to a roar, dominating online discussions and creating a tangible cloud of negativity around a contestant who had, until that point, seemed untouchable. The controversy became so intense that it was no longer just about his vocal performances. It was about his character, his integrity, and whether his entire persona was an authentic representation or a masterfully executed fraud designed to manipulate the emotions of an entire nation for personal gain. What the millions of viewers who watched Jamal's polished performances every week didn't know was that this intense public battle was far from the first time he had faced crushing judgment. He was, in fact, painfully familiar with the sting of rejection from the very show that was now making him a star. Long before his effortlessly soulful audition of Rick James's Mary Jane captivated the judges and earned him a golden ticket, he had walked into the stark, intimidating American Idol audition room on 2 separate occasions, only to be turned away and told he wasn't good enough. During his first attempt, producers were blunt, telling him that while the raw potential was there, he was simply too young, and his voice lacked the necessary training and life experience to convey real emotion. The rejection was a sharp blow, but he channeled the frustration into work. He returned for a second attempt, hoping to prove them wrong, only to be met with an even more disheartening failure. This time they dismissed him as being woefully unprepared, fumbling through his audition and lacking the prepared material and confidence required to make a lasting impression on the seasoned producers. Each of these rejections was a private, humiliating door slammed shut in his face, the kind of repeated discouragement that would cause most aspiring artists to abandon their dreams entirely. These moments of failure were never shown to the television audience. They remained a hidden part of his backstory. They proved that Jamal was not the overnight sensation he appeared to be. Instead, he was a resilient and relentless fighter who had been battling for his dream for years, absorbing devastating setbacks in silence and using them as fuel to meticulously plan his triumphant return. Jamal Roberts' story began in the heart of Meridian, Mississippi, a small town with a rich musical legacy and a deep sense of community. From a young age, Jamal was immersed in the sounds of soul, Motown, and gospel, thanks to his family's strong musical influence. His grandparents, both pillars in the church, were among the first to recognize his extraordinary talent. They encouraged him to sing along to records by legends like Michael Jackson and The Temptations, exposing him to a world of music that would shape his future. But it wasn't just the secular hits that influenced Jamal. Gospel Gospel music, sung in the church choirs his family helped lead, was just as vital to his upbringing. The church became not only a spiritual foundation, but also a musical one, where Jamal learned to express himself through song. At just 2 years old, Jamal began to show signs of his musical talent, and his family noticed. By the time he was old enough to understand the power of music, it became his emotional sanctuary, offering him solace and comfort even during difficult times. As he grew, so did his connection to music, first as a way to entertain himself, and later as a powerful tool to connect with others. But what most people didn't realize was that Jamal's love for music didn't just come from a place of passion, it was born from a need for escape. The challenges of growing up in a neighborhood marked by violence and turmoil left Jamal searching for something that could provide a sense of peace. Music became that escape, allowing him to momentarily leave behind the harsh realities of his surroundings. Despite these early experiences, Jamal didn't immediately view music as a career. After graduating from Meridian High School in 2016, he chose to take a more traditional route, focusing on building a stable life through education. However, even as he moved forward with his studies, music remained an integral part of his life, serving as both an emotional outlet and a private form of expression. His journey into the world of professional music would take time, but it was clear from the beginning that his roots in music were deep, and they would eventually pull him back into the spotlight. While many young people from small towns are pressured to find secure paths in life, Jamal Roberts turned to music as his sanctuary. Growing up in one of the roughest neighborhoods in Mississippi, he knew better than most that life wasn't always kind to those who dreamt big. But music gave him something that nothing else could. It offered him a safe space, a way to process the emotions that were too overwhelming to put into words. In a place where violence and instability often felt like the norm, Jamal's music was the only constant. It wasn't just a hobby, it was a lifeline. In his darkest moments when the world outside seemed too chaotic to navigate, music provided him with peace, even if it was only for a few minutes at a time. Through the soul-soothing melodies of Motown and the uplifting power of gospel, Jamal found the strength to keep going. The music was more than just a sound, it was a form of therapy, a quiet rebellion against the harshness of his environment. As a young man, Jamal channeled his struggles into his art. Whether he was singing alone in his room or quietly playing an instrument in the corner of a church service, music was always there, offering a way to cope with the feelings he couldn't fully express. The simplicity of a melody, the power of a well-chosen lyric, became his way of making sense of the world around him. And while it wasn't yet a career, it was always more than just a hobby. It was his escape, his safe space in a world that often felt unsafe. Little did Jamal know, this personal relationship with music would one day help him connect with the world in ways he never imagined. Ask ChatGPT. Despite his undeniable talent, Jamal didn't immediately pursue a career in music. After graduating from Meridian High School in 2016, he took a more conventional route, focusing on building a stable future through education and personal growth. Like many small-town kids, Jamal faced pressure to make secure choices that would provide long-term stability, especially given the uncertain environment he grew up in. Music was always a part of him, but he wasn't ready to take the leap into a professional music career just yet. Instead, Jamal chose to focus on his studies and began charting a different path, one that prioritized financial security and personal responsibility. The idea of being a successful musician seemed like a far-off dream, and for a while it was just that, something for the future, something he could focus on when life was more stable. But even as he made these decisions, music remained an essential part of his life. He leaned on it during tough times, finding comfort in familiar songs and the emotional release it provided. Jamal continued to sing in private, but his focus was on teaching, helping others, and finding fulfillment in the everyday work of making a difference. He became a physical education teacher at Crestwood Elementary in his hometown, a role that allowed him to connect with children and offer them the same sense of guidance and stability that he had once needed. Still, music wasn't forgotten. It lived quietly in the background, waiting for the right moment to step forward. And although Jamal had temporarily set his sights on education, it was clear that his heart was still very much tied to the music that had once been his escape. Jamal's breakthrough into the national spotlight didn't come easily, but it arrived when he decided to take a risk. In 2021, he entered BET's Sunday Best, a gospel singing competition that would change the course of his career. It wasn't just a typical competition for Jamal, it was a moment of self-discovery. His soulful voice and raw emotional delivery captivated both the judges and viewers, propelling him into the top 3 finalists. The competition allowed Jamal to push past his comfort zone, forcing him to evolve as an artist and truly understand the power of connecting with an audience. For Jamal, Sunday Best wasn't just about winning, it was about proving to himself that his voice had the ability to reach people on a deep level. He had always known that music was his passion, but this experience confirmed something he'd always quietly believed: his music could make a difference. The exposure from Sunday Best also gave him the confidence he needed to take his craft more seriously. But even after the attention and success from the show, Jamal chose to remain grounded. grounded, returning to his everyday life in Mississippi. His time on the show had sparked something in him, something that he couldn't ignore. It wasn't just the thrill of competition, it was the realization that his voice was powerful, not just for his own healing, but for the healing of others. That spark stayed with him, and he began to openly pursue music, refining his skills and sharing his songs with his community. He realized that he had a story to tell, a side of Meridian that people hadn't yet seen, and through his music he could share the beauty of his city instead of its struggles. The experience on Sunday Best didn't just change his career, it changed his outlook on life and music forever. After his success on Sunday Best, Jamal's music career was taking off, but it wasn't the end of his journey, it was just the beginning. In fact, his path to American Idol wasn't as smooth as many might think. Before making his mark on the iconic show, Jamal had already auditioned twice and faced rejection both times. His first audition was dismissed because he was considered too young and not yet fully developed as a vocalist. The second time, his attempt was derailed due to a lack of prepared material, a mistake that could have been devastating to his confidence. However, rather than being discouraged, Jamal used these rejections as fuel to improve. He took the feedback to heart, refining his vocal abilities and gaining a deeper understanding of what it meant to connect with an audience. Jamal knew that each rejection wasn't a failure, it was an opportunity to grow, to fine-tune his craft, and to prepare for the right moment. His persistence paid off, and by the time he auditioned for American Idol Season 23, Jamal had developed not only his vocal skills, but also the confidence and resilience needed to succeed in the fiercely competitive world of music. When Jamal finally earned his golden ticket to Hollywood, it wasn't just the result of his talent, it was the culmination of years of preparation, dedication, and an unwavering belief in himself. His journey wasn't just about raw talent, it was about persistence, patience, and a deep connection to his music and his roots. With every rejection, Jamal learned more about himself and his craft, preparing him for the spotlight he would soon occupy. His moment had arrived, and this time he was ready. Jamal's American Idol journey began with a performance that set the stage for what would become a memorable season. His audition was far from dramatic, but it was sincere, a quality that would endear him to viewers across the country. Walking into the audition room with an easygoing and calm energy, Jamal immediately stood out from the other contestants. He didn't rely on flashy vocal runs or theatrics. Instead, he chose to showcase his smooth, soulful voice on Rick James's classic Mary Jane. His rendition was effortless, grounded in a natural groove that felt both personal and authentic. Jamal's tone was smooth and rich, his delivery full of emotion yet unforced. He didn't oversing or chase after big moments, choosing instead to let the song breathe and speak for itself. The judges were immediately captivated. Lionel Richie praised Jamal for his storytelling and musicality, while Carrie Underwood and Luke Bryan admired his tone and relaxed presence. All three judges quickly agreed Jamal was a rare talent deserving of a golden ticket to Hollywood. But as his time on the show progressed, Jamal would face criticism from some who doubted his place in the competition. Rumors surfaced that he was using his role as a girl dad to garner sympathy votes, especially after bringing his daughters on the show. This accusation was quickly shut down by Jamal and his supporters, who knew that his presence as a father wasn't a strategy for votes, it was simply a reflection of who he was. Jamal's role as a father had always been central to his identity, and he wore it proudly, sharing his love for his children with the world as a reminder that family and dreams could coexist. Through it all, Jamal stayed true to himself. He never let the criticism distract him from his ultimate goal, sharing his gift with the world. His sincerity, his calm energy, and his undeniable talent made him a standout contestant. As the competition progressed, Jamal earned the respect of the judges, the admiration of his fellow contestants, and the loyalty of viewers who saw the depth of his character. The path to the American Idol finale wasn't without its challenges, but with every performance, Jamal proved that authenticity and talent would carry him to the very top. While Jamal Roberts' journey on American Idol showcased his vocal talents and calm stage presence, there was another driving force behind his success: his family. For Jamal, family isn't just a support system, it's the heart of everything he does. As a proud father of three daughters, Lyric, Harmony, and Gianna, Jamal's approach to life and music is deeply rooted in his role as a parent. His children serve as his primary motivation, pushing him to work harder and dream bigger. Becoming a father at a young age gave Jamal a sense of purpose that shaped his outlook on life, especially in his pursuit of music. What makes Jamal's connection to his family even more inspiring is his commitment to being a present, loving father, despite his rising fame. Throughout his American Idol journey, Jamal made it clear that his role as a father was not something he did for the cameras. His emotional moments on stage, often tied to his daughters, resonated with audiences because they were real, genuine expressions of love, hope, and pride. When Jamal shared glimpses of his life at home, it was always clear that his family was the center of his universe. Despite his openness about his love for his children, Jamal is notably private when it comes to his personal relationships. While many aspects of his life have been shared with the public, he has chosen to keep details details about his wife or partner out of the spotlight. This decision reflects his desire to protect his loved ones from the media's prying eyes, ensuring that they are shielded from the intense scrutiny that often comes with fame. For Jamal, it's not about the spotlight, it's about ensuring his family's privacy and focusing on the things that truly matter: his music and his role as a father. Even with his rising fame, Jamal remains grounded in his values. His love for his daughters, and the way he demonstrates it through his actions and words, is at the core of who he is. This unwavering commitment to his family has made Jamal an even more relatable and admired figure, showing that success in the music industry doesn't have to come at the expense of family values. Through his authenticity and love for his children, Jamal continues to prove that it's possible to chase your dreams while staying true to the people who matter most. Jamal Roberts' journey on American Idol culminated in a moment that many had anticipated since the first time he graced the stage, a victory that would mark the beginning of an exciting new chapter in his life. After weeks of performances, Jamal reached the season 23 finale, where he faced off against some of the most talented singers the competition had seen. But it wasn't just his vocal abilities that made him a standout. It was his calm energy, sincerity, and unwavering authenticity that won over the judges and the millions of viewers watching from home. In the finale, Jamal delivered breathtaking performances that left audiences in awe. His renditions of First Time by Tease, Just My Imagination by The Temptations, and his original single Heal showed not only his vocal range, but also his emotional depth. Each note, each word was delivered with such raw emotion that it was clear this was more than just a performance for Jamal. It was a reflection of everything he had worked for. His soulful delivery and heartfelt connection to the songs resonated with the judges and viewers alike, culminating in a record-breaking 26 million votes cast during the finale. Jamal's victory was more than just a title. It was a testament to the power of perseverance, authenticity, and hard work. As the winner of American Idol Season 23, Jamal secured a $250,000 cash prize, a $125,000 upfront payment, and an additional $100,000 upon the completion of his debut album. On top of that, he was awarded a recording contract with Hollywood Records and a production budget of up to $300,000 for his album. This victory not only marked the end of a long and challenging journey, but also the beginning of what promises to be a remarkable career in music. While the prize money and recording contract were significant, Jamal's real victory was the recognition of his talent and the validation of his dreams. After years of preparation, setbacks, and self-doubt, Jamal had finally achieved what he had always known was possible, and now, with the nation's eyes on him, he is ready to share his music with the world and continue his journey from small-town teacher to national sensation. With his newfound fame and recognition, Jamal Roberts is poised to take the music world by storm, but even with national exposure, he remains steadfastly connected to his roots in Meridian, Mississippi. His journey to American Idol and his victory have opened doors to opportunities he had only dreamed of, including offers for live performances from top producers and widespread admiration from fans across the country. But Jamal's success hasn't changed his core values. He's determined to use his platform to not only advance his music career, but also give back to the community that shaped him. Jamal has expressed a deep desire to bring love, peace, and unity to Meridian, and he plans to stay in his hometown, despite the offers flooding in from the music industry. For Jamal, Meridian is more than just a place, it's home. His commitment to his community is evident in his desire to use his music to inspire others, especially young people who may be facing the same challenges he once did. He wants them to know that no matter where they come from, they have the power to rise above their circumstances and achieve greatness. As Jamal moves forward in his music career, he plans to stay grounded and connected to the people who supported him from the very beginning. His journey from church choir singer to American Idol winner is nothing short of inspiring, and he intends to carry that same spirit of authenticity and perseverance into the next chapter of his life. Whether through music, community involvement, or fatherhood, Jamal's focus remains on making a positive impact in the world around him while staying true to the values that have always guided him. Looking ahead, Jamal is eager to release new music, connect with fans, and continue honing his craft. But one thing is for sure, no matter how far his career takes him, Jamal Roberts will always stay connected to his roots, using his success to uplift those around him and remain the humble, hard-working man he's always been. The journey that began in a small town with big dreams is just getting started, and the best is yet to come. Jamal Roberts' story is a powerful reminder that perseverance, authenticity, and dedication can overcome even the most challenging odds. From his humble beginnings in Meridian, Mississippi, where music was his escape from a world filled with struggle, to his breakthrough moment on American Idol, Jamal's journey is a testament to the power of staying true to oneself. He faced rejection, criticism, and countless obstacles, but each setback only fueled his drive to push forward. Through it all, Jamal has remained grounded in his roots, prioritizing his family and community above all else. His victory on American Idol wasn't just about winning a competition, it was about proving that dreams, no matter how big, can come true with hard work and a genuine heart. As he steps into the future with a recording contract and a growing fan base, Jamal is poised to inspire even more people with his music and message of hope. But perhaps the most inspiring part of Jamal's journey is that despite all the success and accolades, he remains the same humble man from Meridian who found peace in music when the world around him seemed chaotic. His victory is not just his own, it's a victory for every person who's ever been told they couldn't achieve their dreams. Jamal Roberts has shown that with persistence, passion, and a deep sense of purpose, anything is possible. The world may now know his name, but Jamal's heart will always stay where it began, in the music that saved him and the community that supported him every step of the way.